The Balkans is a vast region that contains a unique world of its own. If you've never visited the Balkans and wish to explore a country in that area, Albania should be your first stop. Albanians are not confined solely to Albania. They are a widespread nation found in almost every country in the Balkans. For instance, in Kosovo, about 95% of the population is Albanian, while in North Macedonia nearly half of the population has Albanian roots. Interestingly, the origins of the Albanian people do not trace back to Italians or Ottoman Turks. Instead, they are primarily descendants of the aliens. However, the origins of their flag do not date back to the aliens. The flag has a history of approximately 600 years, tracing back to the time of the Ottoman Empire. What is the secret behind the more than 170,000 abandoned concrete bunkers scattered throughout a European country? And why do Albanian men prefer renting luxury cars over buying homes? In this video, we will gain a better understanding of the local lifestyle. The weather. It's worth noting that Albania has no natural gas infrastructure and no central heating systems. Even the hotels rely entirely on air conditioning and electric water heaters. This means every household needs air conditioning units. But freezing weather only lasts 2 to 3 months per year. The rest of the time, temperatures are so mild that this heating situation actually works perfectly. In Tirana, the capital, life happens outdoors year-round. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or late at night, the streets are packed with people. The mild climate creates this incredible street culture where socializing happens outside constantly. Means of transportation. Despite Tirana being a bustling capital city with heavy traffic, there's no metro system. No trams either. Instead, you'll see thousands of people using bicycles and electric scooters weaving through the crowded streets. But the taxi situation is where things get really interesting. You'll notice 2 distinct types of taxis. The yellow ones are standard, but the green and white taxis represent luxury. Many of these premium taxis are actually electric vehicles from Chinese brands, and you cannot use Uber or Lyft in Albania. While Uber has expanded across most of Europe, Albania remains one of the holdout countries. You'll need to rely on local taxi apps or hail cabs the old-fashioned way. The country does have excellent infrastructure though. 4 airports, railway systems, and world-class roads. There's even a city called Saranda where you won't find a single traffic signal, yet traffic flows smoothly. Do you want to experience this? Comment yes if you do, or no if you don't. Because this is what men here would choose, owning a car rather than buying a house. The Albanian obsession with cars. With this next fact, Albanian men often prioritize buying cars over owning homes. Let me repeat that, they'd rather have a luxury car than property. Some men actually rent expensive vehicles just to impress their girlfriends. This isn't about practical transportation. It's about status, power, and social perception. For many Albanian men, a luxury vehicle provides a sense of authority and attractiveness that they value more than long-term financial security. You'll see this everywhere, modest apartments with expensive cars parked outside. This cultural priority creates a fascinating dynamic where the streets are filled with high-end vehicles, but many people are actually renting or financing way beyond their means. It's a cultural phenomenon that reflects deeper values about image and social status in Albanian society. Albanian Physical Characteristics. Here's something you'll notice immediately when walking through Albanian cities. The younger generation is incredibly focused on personal appearance. Hair, beards, and makeup are taken very seriously. Most Albanians have naturally black hair and fair skin. Blonde hair, green eyes, or blue eyes are quite rare among ethnic Albanians. If you see blonde, blue-eyed people on the streets, they're likely Scandinavian tourists. Albanians are often considered genetically beautiful and handsome. There's a natural elegance and attractiveness that's widely recognized. Albanian women. Imagine the most stunningly beautiful women you've ever seen, strolling through scenic coastlines and ancient ruins. It's Europe, after all. But what really amazed me was how lively, self-assured, and unapologetically beautiful the women are here. When I walked through Tirana, the capital, I couldn't help but notice how fashionable the women looked. There's a sense of effortless elegance about them, like they woke up and naturally put together outfits that could easily belong on a runway. Whether it's smart casual or more traditional wear, The blend of modern and classic styles is striking. Even in the tiniest cafes or busy streets, women showcase the latest trends, yet always with a personal touch. There's a quiet confidence in the way they dress. It's not about being loud or flashy. It's about showing their personality through style with subtlety and grace. What's especially impressive is that Albanian women don't blindly follow trends. They add their own unique twist to fashion, seamlessly mixing high-end items with local craftsmanship. Whether it's a beautifully handmade scarf or a pair of heels that highlight their individuality, their style speaks volumes without saying a word. But it's not just about the clothes. It's about how they present themselves. There's a noticeable self-confidence in the way they move. Whether sitting at a cafe, walking down the street, or chatting with friends, they do it with purpose and a quiet confidence that draws you in. It's not loud, but it's unmistakable. What really stood out to me is how independent and multilingual many Albanian women are. Most women here speak at least 2 languages, and English is common, especially among younger people. It's not unusual to hear conversations in English, Italian, or Greek alongside Albanian. Would you like to date women here? If so, comment number 4 below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the bell, share with your friends, and click the subscribe button. Get ready to hear this before booking your ticket to Albania, the cash-only reality. If you're in the capital city of Tirana, credit cards should work at most places. However, if you visit places like Shkodër or Vlora, it's always a good idea to have cash with you. In Albania, the local currency is the lek, and just to give you an idea, 500 Albanian lek is around $4 US. The exchange rate is quite a change and it can take a bit to get used to, but there are plenty of ATMs around, so getting cash isn't difficult. Still, it's important to have cash because not all places accept credit cards, and if they are cash only, you might find yourself in trouble. Though the country has joined NATO, it is not yet a member of the European Union. If Albania were to become part of the EU, its economy could improve significantly. For example, the local currency, the lek, is not very strong. €1 is roughly equal to 100 Albanian lek. This low value has led to the printing of banknotes in larger denominations like 500, 1,000, and even 2,000 lek. Even basic items like cheese and olives can cost over 200 lek, and meals at restaurants aren't exactly cheap. This suggests that Albania is dealing with inflation and its purchasing power is relatively weak, which makes even basic food items expensive. For instance, a meal for 3 people at a typical Italian restaurant costs around €50, which might seem pricey. However, for travelers coming from the United States or wealthier countries like Switzerland, Denmark, or the UAE, this could feel very affordable. But for someone earning €1,500 or €2,000 a month, dining out can be a real splurge. Because of this, many Albanians prefer to cook larger meals at home or spend less rather than pay higher prices for meat at restaurants. Albanians also have a strong preference for Turkish and Roma music, which is why you'll often see Roma musicians performing on the streets. Shocking cuisine. Albanian cuisine focuses heavily on grilled meats, and when I say grilled, I mean perfectly charred and seasoned with herbs like oregano, thyme, and rosemary. You'll find lamb, beef, chicken, and pork prepared with techniques passed down through generations. Raki. This homemade firewater is made from fermented fruit, usually grapes or plums. It looks like water but drinks like liquid fire. What shocked me most was the insistence around raki. Albanians don't just offer it to be polite. They want you to experience their culture through this drink. Refusing raki is like rejecting friendship itself. You could be sitting in a random cafe when the owner appears with homemade raki, pouring drinks as if it's the most natural thing in the world. The generosity is so ingrained that saying no feels impossible. They'll smile and say, "This is raki. Drink with us." It's not just alcohol, it's a gesture of goodwill and cultural connection. Due to the significant Muslim population, you'll notice halal signs in certain areas, particularly near mosques. These establishments don't serve pork products, creating distinct dining zones throughout the cities. The communist past. This next fact reveals Albania's darkest and most fascinating secret. For nearly 45 years, from 1946 to the early 1990s, Albania lived under Enver Hoxha's brutal dictatorship. The country became one of Europe's most isolated and paranoid nations, with virtually no contact with the outside world. The remnants of this era are everywhere. Functional buildings from the communist period stand alongside modern structures, creating a disorienting contrast that tells the story of Albania's dramatic transformation. Scattered across Albania are over 170,000 abandoned bunkers. These small, concrete dome-shaped structures dot the landscape like strange mushrooms. Hawks's government built them to protect against foreign invasion, but they also represent the deep paranoia that characterized his regime. Today, most bunkers are abandoned, though some have been converted into cafes or art installations. Every few kilometers, you'll spot these concrete reminders of a time when Albania lived in constant fear of invasion. Old-timers still tell stories of growing up in a world that felt perpetually under siege. These bunkers aren't just historical curiosities, they're physical manifestations of how fear and isolation shaped an entire generation of Albanians. Corruption. Albania ranks among the most corrupt countries globally, with police leading the corruption statistics. You'll frequently see police imposing fines, though Albanians themselves contribute to the problem by not following driving laws consistently. Infrastructure surprises. Many Albanian streets have no sidewalks. Even in residential areas where you'd expect pedestrian infrastructure, you'll find yourself walking directly on roads alongside fast-moving traffic. People drive aggressively fast, creating dangerous situations for pedestrians. You'll need to stay alert and position yourself as close to parked cars as possible while navigating these sidewalk-free zones. In central Tirana, particularly around Skanderbeg Square, proper sidewalks exist. But in neighborhoods where you might stay in an Airbnb, sidewalks often disappear entirely. Travel timing and tips. The best time to visit Albania is summer, specifically June through August, though mid-July to August gets extremely hot and crowded due to European school holidays. Temperatures can reach 36-37 degc during peak periods, though typically range from 26-32 degc. For better experiences, visit during shoulder months, March, April, May, September, and October. These periods offer cooler weather, fewer crowds, lower prices, and the possibility of having beautiful beaches mostly to yourself. Here's a crucial tip: locals flood beaches on weekends. If you want to experience remote, pristine beaches, visit during weekdays. The difference is dramatic. Gjicaj Beach, for example, fills with tents and crowds on weekends but becomes nearly empty on weekdays. As a majority Muslim country, Albania requires respectful dress, especially when visiting mosques or churches. Women should cover up appropriately, though beach attire is acceptable at coastal areas. The Albanian Alps represent the country's hidden treasure. Spending 3 nights there provides incredible hiking opportunities, cultural immersion, and relief from summer heat. It's the perfect complement to coastal experiences. Hospitality. The final fact might be the most mind-blowing of all. Albanian hospitality operates on a level that will genuinely shock you. The moment you enter an Albanian home, you're treated like family. This isn't exaggeration or tourist marketing, it's cultural reality. Complete strangers will invite you into their homes and insist you stay for dinner after just meeting you. They genuinely cannot imagine not offering everything they have. Here, eat, they'll say, piling plates high with food. You're too skinny? They'll insist while stuffing more grilled meats and bread into your hands. But it's not just about food. It's about the love and genuine care behind every gesture. Family and guests represent the most important values in Albanian culture, and they'll treat you like family whether you've known them for years or minutes. I experienced this firsthand when a shopkeeper who barely spoke English invited me for coffee and insisted on showing me his hometown. When I tried to politely decline, he looked me straight in the eyes and said, "In Albania, we don't say no to a guest. You're here, so we take care of you." He introduced me to his entire family, showed me hidden local gems, and shared stories I'll never forget. This hospitality knows no boundaries and creates connections that transcend language barriers and cultural differences. Economic advantages. Albania imports many globally recognized brands, including most electronic devices, cars, and defense-related products. Although the country is abundant in natural fruits and vegetables, these products do not bring in as much revenue as technological goods. Because of this, there are only a few industries that generate significant income through sales. Apart from food and beverages, Albania also produces textiles and construction materials. The country's primary trading partners are Italy, Turkey, Greece, Germany, and China, with a large number of electric vehicles coming from China. However, Albania has a notable advantage. Unlike some other countries in the Balkans, it has access to the sea, which draws tourists and provides a boost to the economy. A coastline opens up many opportunities for development, which directly affects the number of visitors to the country. Albania, with its stunning beach cities like Shëngjin, is especially attractive to tourists, particularly American and European visitors during the summer months, as they find the Balkans to be more affordable. Countries like Albania and Greece are among the top summer destinations for tourists from Northern Europe, providing a significant economic boost. Typical cuisine. If there is one dish that will leave a lasting impression on your taste buds, it is bajrek. This flaky pastry is a true Albanian favorite, crispy on the outside, soft and savory on the inside. Fillings vary from cheese and spinach to meat and potatoes. No matter which version you choose, the bajrek experience is unforgettable. Imagine biting into a warm, golden, buttery pastry that bursts with flavor. It is easy to see why bajrek is loved by both locals and visitors. What makes it even better is how widely available it is. Street vendors sell them everywhere at prices that are hard to believe. For just a few lek, you can enjoy a freshly baked bajrek that tastes like it came straight from a grandmother's kitchen. Each bite feels like a comforting hug from someone who has perfected the art of pastry. Albanian cuisine is also special because of its dedication to fresh ingredients. Olive oil, real, high-quality olive oil, is used in nearly every dish, from simple salads to roasted vegetables and grilled meats. The local olive oil is smooth, rich, and full of flavor that is hard to find elsewhere. It is more than an ingredient, it is part of the culture. Visiting a local farm might even give you a chance to taste it fresh from the source. Fresh herbs are another key element. Mint, oregano, basil, and parsley appear in almost every dish, adding a light, refreshing touch. It feels like the food was grown just steps away from your plate. Most Albanian restaurants emphasize farm-to-table cooking, using locally sourced ingredients. This approach creates food that is wholesome, clean, and full of flavor. With Albania's coastline, along the Adriatic and Ionian Seas, seafood naturally plays a large role in the local diet. Grilled fish, octopus, and shrimp are common, and the freshness is remarkable. One of my favorite dishes was grilled sea bass, which tasted as if it had just been caught moments before. Simple yet flavorful, paired with lemon and olive oil, it was perfection on a plate. The seafood may be straightforward, but its quality is hard to beat. Street food in Albania is another pleasant surprise, both for taste and price. You can find meals for $1 or $2 that rival restaurant quality. In Tirana, I came across a small stall selling corn and potatoes. While it looked simple, the flavors were exceptional. The potatoes were perfectly crisp, and the corn had the ideal balance of sweetness and smokiness. The most memorable moment was when a local noticed me standing there, confused by the menu. He ordered a dish for me and handed it over with a smile. I still do not know exactly what I ate, but it was delicious. The food here comes with a sense of warmth and generosity that is as memorable as the flavors themselves. An unpredictable welcome. I had several moments where I felt more like a guest than a tourist, as locals shared their favorite dishes with me and made me feel truly welcome. One evening, I was invited into a family's home for a meal, and they prepared a traditional dish of stuffed peppers and baked eggplant. The hospitality was incredible, and the food was some of the most flavorful I have ever tasted. It was not just the ingredients or the cooking, it was the care and love put into every dish. The food in Albania is more than something to eat. It is a way to connect with the heart of the country. It allows locals to welcome you into their lives and share something real and authentic. Sitting at that table with strangers who quickly became friends, I realized that the true essence of Albania is not just in its cuisine, but in the warmth, hospitality, and sense of community that comes with it. If you ever visit Albania, be ready to embrace the unpredictability of the food scene. One memory I will never forget is sitting in a cafe, staring at a menu filled with dishes I didn't recognize. A local woman at the next table noticed my hesitation. She waved the waiter over and said, "Don't worry. I'll make sure it's something you'll love," before ordering me a simple-looking salad. When the salad arrived, I took a bite and immediately realized it was one of the freshest, most vibrant salads I had ever tasted. It was full of seasonal vegetables, herbs, and drizzled with extra virgin olive oil unlike anything I had tried before. The best part was that I still do not know exactly what was in it. But it did not matter. This was another example of how food in Albania is about more than the ingredients. It is about the people, the experiences, and the stories that come with it. Albanian food is more than just a meal. It is an experience. From grilled meats and fresh seafood to farm-to-table dishes and street food that could rival a fine dining restaurant, Albania is a dream for food lovers. Beyond the flavors, the food is deeply tied to the country's culture and hospitality, making every bite a chance to connect with the people who call this place home. Visiting Albania will not just satisfy your appetite, it will leave you enchanted with every bite. The country combines Mediterranean beauty with Balkan authenticity, modern aspirations with ancient traditions, and genuine warmth with fascinating complexity. Whether you're drawn to the Albanian Alps, the pristine beaches, or the vibrant street culture, this hidden gem offers adventures that will exceed your expectations. Remember to bring cash, respect local customs, and prepare yourself for hospitality that might actually overwhelm you. Most importantly, approach Albania with an open mind and willingness to experience a culture that operates by its own unique rules. If you found these facts as mind-blowing as I did, make sure you're subscribed for more hidden European destinations that most travelers never discover. What surprised you most about Albania? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let me know which Balkan country you'd like me to explore next.